It was Saturday afternoon and Rachel and I were relaxing and we were alerted by whinnying horses, barking dogs, donkeys, shouting that something had happened in the field. So we went to investigate. A broken fence and a suspiciously empty field told us something was up.
When we hear some whinnying from some of the horses, we know usually there might be an issue. And what's happened here is some of them are out and the ones that are left in are whinnying to them because the herd has become separated. So that's what we're dealing with at the moment.
So now we're going to go and find where they are. They're around here somewhere, so they won't be far, but let's go and have a look, see if we can see where they are.
And we were right, they weren't far at all. They were just outside of the field and they had made their way down to the river, and some of them had crossed the river as well. They go to this spot because there's loads and loads of dry leaves on the floor and fresh bamboo shoots, and it's just too much. They can't resist it. It's just a massive temptation to break out, go and explore, and who can blame them? Ordinarily, this river is flowing. It's a lot deeper and wider than it is at the moment. Now it's just a trickle in a little stream. But because of the drought that we've been suffering in Spain, everything is dying back. So this area that we're walking through now that the horses are in is normally a forest of bamboo and works as a perfect natural barrier to stop them crossing the river. But as you can see now, it's just a quick hop over the stream and they're out. Unless, of course, you're woody, and then even that's a little bit scary.
Woody is such a baby. He's got the other side of the river then with his friends, and then he didn't want to go back. This is just typical Woody. He's the biggest horse. He's huge and he's got all this power, but he's such a baby at heart.
So whilst these guys are munching away on all the dried leaves and just enjoying the freedom and the change of scenery and quite chilled, quite relaxed, the horses that remain in the paddock are stressed because they want to join this herd. They want to be out there roaming around the trees and having a good time like their friends are. So now the time comes where we have to put these guys away, put them back in the paddock, because unfortunately they can't remain in this area unattended. So let's get them back in their paddock. How are we going to do that?
So in this certain situation, when you've got half the herd out and half the herd in, the best thing you can do, hold on, I'm getting attacked here. The best thing you can do is actually let all the herd out and get them back together so they don't panic. And then once they're all out, open all the gates, get the food in the field, and then drive them all back in together. And so it's a little bit counterintuitive because you're letting more out to get them all back. All right. Okay, we'll make it about you, shall we? You shouldn't actually be out, should you? But you're the ringleader. Merlin and Dakota look very similar, and sometimes you can get them mixed up. But the problem child is Dakota. She's the problem. Anyway, let's get all the horses out. They'll probably go a little bit mad, and then we can concentrate on getting them back in.
It's quite a nice perspective here, isn't
Yeah?
At this point, like the complete idiot that I am, I thought I was recording or I wasn't recording, but I was. And basically I went the wrong way around. So I left it recording when I left it. I thought I was recording, but it wasn't on. You know what I mean?
So I did this really stupid thing. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So when I wasn't recording, I was recording. And when I wasn't recording, I was. So we just let the horses out and I was videoing it and I think I wasn't recording. So typical. Anyway, they're out. So we're just going to let them have a little munch around and wander around, and then we'll get them back in with some food.
When the horses are this chilled and this relaxed and clearly having a nice time, you don't really want to put them back in the paddock. And we basically decided that we would use this opportunity to get some nice photographs of them, some nice videos of them, and just let them have a little change of scenery and have a nice Saturday afternoon in the trees. So that's what we did. We just shepherded them for a little while and let them sort of stretch their legs, and it's good for their brains. So just take a few minutes with us now and just enjoy the horses with us. It's really therapeutic. Even little Barney was enjoying the time with the horses for once. Normally he's running around and policing them.
So it's a really nice spot down here. It's really shady and it's out of the way, and there's a breeze which you can probably hear at the moment. And it's just, it's such a lovely spot for them. It's picturesque, and I just love it when they're down here. It feels very wild, it feels very natural. But unfortunately I can't leave them down here. We can't leave them down here all the time because it's just not secure. So before you know it, they'd be over the river and they would be off into town, running up bar bills, getting into fights. I'd have to probably bail some of them out of prison. Yeah, so it's just not really doable, but it's just nice to come and spend some time just being a shepherd and just shepherding the horses and just enjoying them, really. It's a really, really lovely thing to do on a Saturday afternoon.
So like little children in the playground, it was time for them to go home.
Go on.
And now the fun really begins. When we have to round them up and get them all back in their paddock. And the dogs help too. At this point, we couldn't find two of the horses. We couldn't find them. We didn't know what happened to them. So I had to go on a little bit of an adventure and go through the old dry riverbed and follow the trails to try and track down two horses. And it was like something out of, I don't know, just out of a movie or something, like out of a Vietnam War film or something. Okay, so that's enough of that. So I was looking for the horses. I found this beautiful plant and just continued really to search for them. Couldn't find them anywhere. So just assumed that I had missed them because there's no way they would be this far. They just wouldn't be this far. They wouldn't be this far away from the other horses. So now it's a question of how do I get back across the stream without getting my feet wet? No, we're not going to start all this again. No. Now the wind was really starting to pick up and the clouds were rolling in, so we could feel a storm was on its way. So I had to get get the babies back in their paddock and under control. Unbeknownst to us, as Rachel and I were shepherding the horses, the donkeys had taken their opportunity to break into the area where we keep the hay and were filling their little fat bellies up with all the Avenatti.
Come on.
Barry.
Come on.
And Steve.
Let's go. Come on.
Wow.
Barry.
It's just disappointing really, isn't it?
Let's go. Let's go. So whilst I've left Rachel herding and shepherding the horses, and I went for a long walk through the riverbeds to go and see if I could find a couple of missing horses, which I couldn't find, so I'm assuming they're back. They won't be far. So now it's the last stage of the plan to get them back, and that is to take the Avenatti, put it into the field, and then herd them into the field, and then we can shut them in, and they'll be happy. They'll have some food, so they'll all be happy horses. So that's the plan. Let's go.
At this point, the horses can hear the tractor, so they'll be alert and know that food's coming, because that's what they associate it with, and give them a little call, and they normally start coming pretty quick. And there's always one little straggler that has to be the last one in.
So that's it. Wow. So that's it. I nearly fell off the trailer then. So yeah, horses are away, and that should keep them busy for a little while. And you never know, when they get into this mood, they tend to go through phases. So if they've gone through a phase where they're starting to break out, then they'll break out all the time until you have to just redo the fencing or do something. So actually, that leads us on to our next videos that are coming up very, very shortly, which is we are replacing all of the fencing and shelters, all sorts of things. So there's loads of things that we'll be doing here at the sanctuary over the next coming weeks, and we're going to try and get as much done as quickly as we can and to the best standard that we can. But we're doing it ourselves. We've got to sneeze. Excuse me, with all this wind, there's a lot of dust about, making it very sneezy. Who's that for?
For Dottie.
Ever the opportunist. Steve, I swear, what he did was, he created a distraction. You probably let out the horses, didn't you? That's what actually happened here. I think he let out the horses so that he could get to the food, because he knew that the gate would be left open. Steve, look at all that food you're wasting. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we really hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you did. And follow us over on our other socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you know, all the usual places. And if you can, consider joining our Patreon community. It's a really good way to support the sanctuary. It's at patreon.com/Jacob's Ridge. Well, hope you really enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you soon, guys.